New York is a city of islands with more than 600 miles of coastline. It's also a city of artists who've long drawn inspiration from our cityscape. But at the edges, the waters that define our islands make another landscape entirely, every bit as gritty and urgent, as lonely and cluttered, as deadly, non sequitus, singular and siren as the city itself. Underwater New York invites you to dive in. Since 2009, we've published creative work by nearly 200 writers, artists, filmmakers, musicians, and others inspired by the waterways of New York City. Here's a small sampling of that work.
Requiem for Sea in Chains for the Middle Passage. Who knew a body of water could be this large? A mountain to the smallest selves who made it to the hulls alive, their voices slipping like a saffron bolt. At half-mast chains learned not to scream, count heartbeats and swallow mouthfuls of dust. The deck split open as some leaped with the moon, tossed their kinky manes in the sea. Others fell to the dark, spine and spirit broke, were tossed to the reefs like open umbrellas while the sun looked on. Praise the mist and bone thief holding our seeds on ocean floors. Who knew water could swallow bodies so quietly?
Net worth, sandy grounds harvest. Where is the water we can wade in as captains, not captives? Drag nets and till loam the color of children's faces. We'll go there, to Princess Bay and Arthur Kill, sharpening oyster knives the whole way, chanting songs of Zion to guide and gild worn shoes. Pearl seekers, if some wept, it was while we worked, dredging up succulent lives we were never meant to have. Ancestors sleep beneath rich oyster beds, and the sea recalls those who survived. Forced to pry this country's treasures, we kept hope fresh, the luscious heart of each catch intact. Finally, a place to harbor dreams. Sandy ground was ours, a promised land cracked open by our own hands. All other ground was sinking sand. Here, we waited until self-appointed gods troubled the water. Lord, they still trouble us in our water. Have mercy. When the salt of our sweat could no longer save tainted bounty, and fire feasted on homes, many shielded our eyes and set out again to find new shade, trees and water that would love us back. A new generation feels restored, landmarked pews, brilliant black pearls dressed to the hilt, humming hymns, singing our names. What's left of us resides all over the island, inside of clapboard, too resilient to burn.
Julia Lofaso, Glass City versus Bottle Beach. I once went to a New Year's Eve party whose host, a burlesque dancer, handed each guest a dinner plate to smash against a brick wall. I've never seen a room full of people so suddenly awake, so reborn. Of course that was years ago, before we lost Brooklyn, before they came for Queens. The city has a habit of killing its ghosts, but it hasn't kept up with your haunting. Even the water hasn't managed to turn your bottles back to sand. Patti Smith, protect us. Richard Hell, forgive us. Lou Reed, let us never forget your ripped nylons, your drunken plans, how you woke up every morning to eviscerate horses to bone. We want to know how you failed or succeeded at surviving whatever your life was. But even now, I don't. All I can do is stab at truth, waving a bottle, letting it fly, waiting for the head-clearing satisfaction of hearing it break. Because we don't fear wilderness, but its opposite. The stripping of secrets, the bleaching of bones, the relentless building of buildings. Because we don't fear Batman, but Bruce Wayne, champagne, handshakes, deals behind closed doors. Warriors come out to play, bring back a little reckless to this brave new city. We've made it to the beach before you, we're hiding in plain sight, magnified. So slow they can't see us, so low they'd never dream of our iridescence. But we are always here, always inching, always covering ground. We are scrolled messages, signs, and you'll come to read us.
This is what the last ones left us. After the era of flood and after the era of fire, we creep into the central clusters and rifle through the rubble. From the top of the cliff, 2 pink eyes and 1 pale ear beckon. The word splitter names the creature Kangaroo Mouse, male. It is not one of their bee-withs, which were almost universally furred, nor a listen to, since he makes no sound. Nor is there a mention of Kangaroo Mouse in the Aesop's fables found in a ziplock in Zone 12 some 20 years ago. We still cannot make a ziplock, but we know all about morals. Try before you trust, and might makes right. We try to tease one out. If a mouse can make its home in a hole, are we to understand we will live on without the sun? If the kangaroo keeps its children in a pocket, is it wise to keep our gimmies close too, though they wail and steal our food? Perhaps Kangaroo Mouse has something to do with their mysterious notion of play, a type of waiting for sunset that involved throwing spheres and grimacing. He may well yet be another withholder, since when we press on his button, like all the other gods we've found and abandoned, nothing happens. Night makes light, we murmur, and look up at the sky with the face the last ones called hope.